Ms. Tamara Cook.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's been a long journey to get here, actually. And since Dr. Mwangi's here, he gave me permission to share a story. The first time I moved to Kenya was in 2003, and it was to work with equity. And at that time, equity was not the powerhouse that you know now. I wrote a case study about equity because they were scaling up and they had reached 300,000 customers. It's a bit more than that, isn't it now? But I worked on the credit team, and the reason I wanted to bring up that story is because even in 2003, data was very important to equity's model. Now, we didn't have AI and machine learning, we had Excel, but we still downloaded, Asante, we still downloaded that data from the banking system, and we used that data to say, wait a second, these tea farmers in this place are behaving differently than these tea farmers in this place when it comes to loan recovery. What can we learn from that? And that's the beginning of the journey towards AI. Fast forward, the next time I moved to Kenya was in 2014. And one of the things, I was joining FSD Kenya, but I was also representing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on Mkopa. Some of you may be familiar with the pay-as-you-go solar company that is here in Kenya and has grown, again, much bigger than it was in 2014. Data was a very important part of their story. And it was a fintech innovation that was interesting because you could pay small, kidogo to own a solar company. But what they did is they used data to find out, you know, if somebody hasn't been paying for 5 days, if we send them this kind of message, they'll start paying. If we wait 10 days and we send them that same message, it doesn't work. And so the power of data is amazing. But a lot of the way that we used to analyze data was manual. You know, we had to kind of crunch the numbers ourselves. The power of artificial intelligence is that it helps us take all that data that we have and digitize it. I loved what Ms. Mwangi said when she was talking about how much data banks have that they're not currently using. And that's an important thing, and it's something we at FSD Kenya have been focused on. So fast forward a couple more years, and I had the privilege of meeting Dr. Kitui in Kigali at the Transform Africa Summit. I was part of Kenya's delegation to present the Digital Economy Blueprint, which hopefully many of you are aware of. And it was a powerful opportunity to really showcase Kenya's leadership on the continent in terms of being a powerhouse when it comes to leadership in the digital economy. I also had the opportunity of meeting Sophia, some of you may know. She's the AI woman, and often seen as a novelty. And I think that's one of the risks of AI, is that people see AI as some novelty thing, not something that is at the core of helping us to build better businesses and reach more people with better services. So John Kamara mentioned this morning, we met at the Afro-Asia FinTech Fest, which was co-hosted by the Central Bank of Kenya and the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And at the opening cocktail, by pure chance, I ended up next in line to the head of artificial intelligence for the Monetary Authority of Singapore. It was his first trip to Kenya, and he was impressed. He'd met young entrepreneurs, young tech specialists, and he was dealing with a problem in Singapore. They didn't have enough artificial intelligence expertise there either. And he was seeing all this talent, and he was like, if we could just get this talent a little bit more training, a little bit more expertise, they could provide the services that we need in Singapore and that others around the world need. And so that was the impetus of this idea of how could we build Kenya's capacity for artificial intelligence in a way that not only can it power Kenyan businesses, but Kenya can power other businesses and really create more economic opportunities, especially for young, bright Kenyans who have the capacity, but not yet the training to provide those artificial intelligence services. So for those of you who may not be familiar with FSD Kenya, we've been around since 2005, and our mission is to make financial markets work for poor people. So we work with those across the financial sector to help them cater to low-income households who've often been left out of the financial sector and micro, small, and medium enterprises. Artificial intelligence and data analysis has a huge impact on helping businesses to reach those customers. I was speaking with the entrepreneurs earlier, and they were telling me about the way they were using AI to try to digitize parts of the Kenyan economy. And anybody who's lived in Kenya knows that any small duka's got a little black book, not unlike this, where they record who owes them what, when who got some ugali, who got some tomatoes, and how much they owe. And the problem with these little black books is they're not digital. So if there's a way to digitize the data in the small dukas, in the mama mbogas, in the agro inputs, and we could digitize that data, that would make an even more powerful input into reaching low-income people, because the data's out there, but it's just not all digital. So I'd like to end maybe with just one challenge as we think about the power and the opportunity of artificial intelligence. That same artificial intelligence that can be used to create new solutions and better cater solutions to low-income households and micro and small and medium enterprises, that same analysis can also be used to discriminate and take opportunities away from them. I've seen people use algorithms to exclude people who earn too little. I've seen people use algorithms to exclude people who live in Mukuru. And so as we talked about data protection, it's not just privacy that we need to worry about. We need to worry about some of those issues around discrimination and how artificial intelligence can be used to take away opportunities rather than give them. So we've got a full agenda this morning. I don't want to take too much of your time. I would just like to say that at FSD Kenya, we are very proud to be a part of these first 40 students who are learning artificial intelligence, and will hopefully be the beginning of the 1,000 that can create that 1.2 billion revenue opportunity for Kenya that we heard about. And we look forward to following their progress, the entrepreneurs' progress, and Kenya's progress, not only to build artificial intelligence, but to maintain Kenya's leadership in the digital economy, not only in Africa, but around the world. Thank you.